What's up, everybody? My name's Shan. Today we're going to be diving into a Rakdos Menace aggro deck, and that's right, Menace is back and it's kicking some butt. It's got some new players with the flip-floppy lands in it, the Blackbloom Rogue, right? A brand new Rogue with Menace. It can get all the way up to a 5/3 if the opponent has 8 or more cards in the graveyard, and it can come down as a land. What's not to love? Now take this and add it into some old favorites like the Labyrinth Raptor, which has Menace and makes it to where your opponent has to sacrifice a creature every time they block a creature you control with Menace is really good. Not to mention the fact that you can sink 2 mana into it and boost up all of your Menace creatures. This is got to be one of the strongest 2-mana lords I've seen in a while, and it's not a direct lord, right? It's not like comes down, boosts up everything. It has the boost sort of to be paid for, but it's still extremely strong. Making your opponent sacrifice creatures constantly while still getting in damage is insane. Outside of this, we have the Hunted Nightmare, which is a really strong card. It saw play there for a while, and then it dropped back off with the sort of more aggro push. Well, it's back here, 3 mana for a 4/5 with Menace. You do put a Death Touch counter on your opponent's creature, but given we have a ton of Yorion decks running around that don't even have creatures there early, it's beautiful. Outside of this, we have Demonic Embrace to help send your Menace creatures into the sky, because sometimes having Menace just isn't enough. Sometimes you need to go over their heads, right? Now, for some non-Menace creatures, we do have Thieves Guild Enforcer, which is really good. Helps you with your Blackbloom Rogue, right? Get into that 8 card count in your opponent's graveyard, and vice versa. Your Blackbloom Rogue helps you to mill with your Thieves Guild and again get to the 8 card count. Not to mention the fact that it's a 1-mana flash that can come down as a 3/2 with Death Touch, which is enough to take out a questing beast or, various things. Fervent Champion is really good. It has First Strike and Haste. The most beautiful thing about this card is whenever you get to bring it back with Call the Death Dweller and put Menace and Death Touch on it. So you get Death Touch at first strike speed, which means you get to take something out. You get Menace, which means with the Labyrinth Raptor, the opponent has to sacrifice a creature. So Fervent actually becomes a 1-man destroying machine, right? Moving us along, we have Rob the Rich. Again, doesn't have Menace, but we're playing back into that whole little Rogues tribal we have here with the Thieves Guild Enforcer. So helps with that. It has haste, it has reach, 2/2. Not to mention, again, you bring it back with Call the Death Dweller. Now it has Menace on it, makes it a little bit harder for the opponent to defend, and you get to keep proccing your robbers. So beautiful once more. Shredded Cells, because there's a ton of artifacts running around right now with the Yorion decks, and there's a ton of Rogue decks, well, pretty much always running around. So very good card, instant speed, 2 mana, you can cycle it for 2, and again, it does work. Stormfist Crusader, a staple of this deck, 2 mana, 2/2. Menace allows you to draw additional cards each turn and deal damage. It does deal damage to you as well. However, you're playing an aggro deck, so you're not worried about your life total so much as reducing your opponent's. Does that make sense? Shatterskull Smashing, really good flip-floppy land, and again, one of the main reasons that this deck is popping off so hard now is because you have these spells that are also lands, so you're not just sort of getting either land screwed or only playing your creatures. You got some spells you can sprinkle into the mix as well. Blackbloom we talked about, Call the Death Dweller, we've seen it a million times, we all know what it does, it's fantastic, just trust me. Woe Strider, again, not one that has Menace on it innately, but it is one that you can escape, so you can constantly have a chum blocker or, a card to sacrifice if the opponent's making you sacrifice stuff, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, with Rogues being in the current meta, having a card that you can escape from your graveyard, such as this and Demonic Embrace, really, really good options, right? Not to mention the fact that it can give you the Scry if your opponent's going to destroy your other creatures, you sacrifice them. Demonic we talked about, Hunted we talked about, Valakut Awakening, another land that helps you basically be more consistent, right? Putting in a number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many +1. 3 mana instant speed, that's solid. Agadeem helps you bring back creatures, and then we have Tentative Connection, a card that I really, really love playing. It's like a 1-mana Claim the Firstborn without limitations. So I know it says 4 mana here. The spell costs 3 less to cast if you control a creature with Menace. We have a ton of creatures with Menace, as we've seen. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste until end of turn. So take your opponent's stuff, swing in, finish the game out, is essentially what this is in here for, right? And I gotta say, it works beautifully. You end up drawn into 2 mana, take 2 things from your opponent and just smash. Oh, yes, please. Now, this was originally designed as a best of 3 deck, so you do have a little sideboard action going on over here. We're going to be playing in best of 1 today, as I do believe these sort of off-kilter meta decks, or off-tier, whatever, meta decks are still really good, but I think they're best in best of 1 where your opponent doesn't have time to react, so to speak, right? Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this little intro. And now we're going to hop right into the magic. Be sure you're leaving a like down below if you're enjoying the content, subscribing if you want to see more content, or just support the channel through a free means, and hit that bell icon so YouTube actually sends you notifications, because they won't do that if you don't do that. Anyways, without further ado, let's hop into some magic. Artificer Crux probably. It's a Kahira deck. Okay. They get to go first, and we don't have double black mana. Oh, this hand is deceptively bad. You know, you look at it and you're like, oh, Hunted Nightmare, that's good. Fervent, that's good. Demonic Embrace, good. Tentative with Hunted, that's great. I have 3 mana, check. But you don't have double black. You actually don't have any plays, really. I'm taking the mulligan there. You can call me crazy. Call me whatever you may, but I don't think that was the hand we keep. We'll toss back Shredded Sails and keep this one. This one's a little bit slower. I will admit that. Nope, I want a land. I want a nice, easy, untapped land game. If you could give me one of those, we'll call it even. We shall call it even. Don't play a creature. Okay, cool beans. But they are down to 4 cards in hand, which means even if I play... Oh, yeah. Okay. Game's cutting me some slack, I see. I think I still have to go for the robber here. It won't proc, but it is haste damage. Labyrinth Raptor is one of those cards that you can drop later and you still don't feel bad about it, right? Like, you can drop it after you already have Menace creatures, and actually it's probably better. Dropping it early is still fine. It's 2 mana for a 2/2 with Menace. That's, you know, baseline stats. Checks out fine. And the fact that it can boost all of your other Menace creatures. Yes, please. Throne of McKinley. What does this do? Oh, they're doing kicked spells. So they do have 2 mana here. It could be like... this is interesting. I need to get this down so I can get the Hunted Nightmare down before they get creatures. But if I bolt this in, I can go Fervent, Labyrinth. I don't think I worry about that right now. I think I just swing in with Robber if I can. Although, note should be made that if I do bolt in the land, or if I did rather, bolt in the land, play Fervent, play Labyrinth, we would be down to 3 cards in hand, and Robber would proc, but we wouldn't have any mana to cast whatever we potentially got with Robber. So, you know, you gotta weigh your options, weigh your outcome. Although, seeing that they are a Kahira sort of slow kicking deck, you know, maybe going for the hastier, get all the creatures down play was the correct play. I don't know, we'll see. They have Mazebind, so that is an extra 4 life that, like, I don't think we'll be able to, you know, take them out before they get to the 4 counters, given it's next turn that they get it, right? They're holding off on the mana there. Okay. So they have 5 cards in hand. If I were to... They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. That's not true. It might just be Mazebind that we're proccing as well. No, it's not. Okay, you know. That's fine. We got the Essence Scatter out on a Fervent Champion instead of our Stormfist Crusader. So I'm going to call that good. Good to go. Hopefully we don't see any removal here. We're going to see removal here. It's going on the Robber, isn't it? You dirty bastard. Yep. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. We're still getting in 2 damage. They've exhausted, you know, some of their cards here. And we're still still getting down a Stormfist Crusader. I'm telling you, it's all the names in Magic that gets to you, you know? You play for 2 years and sets rotate and they bring in new sets and you're like, man, we've had Labyrinth cards before, we've had Raptors, we've had Nightmares, we've had Storms and Fires and Dragons and Champions. We've had so many. just rearranged, right? At least one thing stays the same. That's good old mountain, island, plains, forest, and swamp, right? Those will always remain the same. Alright, let's get our card draw on, shall we? Land and a Shatterskull. All we have over there is a Fervent Champion. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can't get in for the 4. If they manage to take out one of our creatures, we have Call. We can bring back one of our creatures and the Fervent. That kind of works out. If not, we just have Hunted that gets to come down, right? Do a little bouncy. I can plus up, but at my current mana state, I could also just wait and replay Raptor and then Hunted, right? They got 3 cards left. We're gonna see some more removal. All right. Well, that is great news for us actually, because it means we get to play these 2 back uninterrupted, or we play down Call and get Stormfist and Fervent back. No, I'll tell you what, I'd rather go for the Hunted. They don't have any creatures. We know they don't have any creatures. Let's do it. Let us do it. By the way, is this just is it? Is it just is it? There's no way, because they got Kahira, so it's at least Jeskai, right? Not that. They gotta have some way to cast down Kahira, or maybe it's Temur? Temur would make sense with the kick spells, Throne of Makindi, right? Alright, they're gonna bring Kahira over. Are they gonna play Kahira down? That's the question. They don't. Which means they gotta have some removal for us, right? Okay, I was seeing if we had removal if I just buffed everything with Labyrinth, but we don't. We're gonna go ahead and go for the Call here. Because Fervent has the haste, they go for the negate. We can rest assured. That's okay. I might should have thrown down Shatterskull there, but I guess keeping it back is not too bad either. We do have lethal on board, so yeah, we're alright. If they play down Kahira, we can at least have some room. Well, they don't even have the mana to play down Kahira. What am I talking about? So they gotta have removal here. And it's gotta be for the Labyrinth, right? I mean, I guess they could take out Hunted and still be fine. Alright, well, they got something. They got something, that's for sure. Let's go in. Let's fall for their trap card. Bum bum bum. Show me what you got, Artificer. Show me the money. Whoa, I've never seen this guy before. How am I? Hey, normally clicking on them gets their attention. They like turn towards you. Hello. And they're just cycling a Shark Typhoon. Well, that's not going to be enough. My creatures have Menace. Hello. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, so I guess it's just an upgraded form of the Elemental guy. Oh, good game. They were banking on that Shark Typhoon, either finding another Shark Typhoon or finding some removal. Conan. Like the Barbarian or like the late night TV show host? We'll keep this. They have a Yorion. Hello, Conan. How you doing? How are you doing? I really want to get the Stormfist down, but Robber makes more sense right here. We hit a land. Not super exciting, but you know, if we can mana screw him a little bit, I won't be opposed to it. Now this next turn is really going to be difficult because, again, I want to get the Stormfist down pretty much as soon as possible, but we have the option of playing down Blackbloom, we have the option of playing down Demonic Embrace. We've got a lot of options. Although now that we have Thieves Guild, I think Stormfist is a little bit more viable. First things first though, swinging with Robber, see what we get. Banishing Light, hey! I don't mind seeing one of those. We'll end it on that note, and then I can, of course, play down Thieves Guild on their turn. And generally, if you can play something instant speed, you should. Unless your opponent's just rattling off counter spells left, right, up, and down. And even still then, you know, if they spend a 2-mana counter spell on a 1-mana creature on their turn, that's still good, right? Because then they can't turn around and counter something on your turn. Any hoosers? Double Robber? I mean, it feels too good to be true, but you never know. Maybe it's not. Maybe we just do it. Oh my goodness, we're just doing it. Alright, bonus down to 8. I'll play this down as a land. Now, they could have some board wipe here, right? Shatter the Sky. It's looking like a shatter. Oh, that's kind of sad. You know, they were really hoping for a shatter there. Oh man, because of our mana split, we can't get down both Labyrinth Raptors. Not that we should anyways, right? Tell you what. Isn't that lethal? It is indeed. Beautiful. It was just that easy. Saint Malone gonna be our first foe. Gonna be our next foe. We'll keep this. And I think I am gonna play down the Triome first, because either I get the Fervent and Thieves Guild turn 2, or I get the Stormfist. But if I just go Swamp, then turn 2 I have nothing, right? But this gives me turn 2 play and turn 3 play, so I think this is what we want. Saint Malone. There we go. Oh, and we get to go first. Yeah. This is for sure what I want. It's easier to be a little slower and still be aggro if you're going first to play down that tap land. Right? Alright, now we have the decision of Stormfist or Thieves Guild and Fervent. I think we go for the Stormfist first. Fervent has haste, and so it coming down now or later doesn't really matter too much. And Thieves Guild has flash, so it's actually beneficial for us to sort of save it and surprise them, right? Grixis. Well, this is fine. This is why we have things like Demonic Embrace and Woe Strider, right? So we can discard them and bring them back. Another Thieves Guild, that's pretty good. So I could bolt in this land, get both Thieves Guild down and a Fervent. Could also bolt this in, get a Hunted Nightmare down while they don't have any creatures. Alright. I know we're all the way down to 16 already, but don't worry, we'll get them there, okay? If they end up playing another Grixis this turn, we can discard Woe Strider, and again, it's one of those cards that we can play back. It's Grixis, holy balls. They take out Stormfist, but Hunted is going to live to see another day. See another day, Jesus, English chance. So I could throw Demonic Embrace on Hunted and just deal in 7. I like my Fervent Thieves Guild Wombo combo. Now they are going to take my Tentative Connection here, but that's okay. That is actually a card I would have liked to have kept, but thankfully since they are Grixis, they don't actually have the mana for Grixis. They also don't have the cards in the graveyard, so both those things pretty good. I mean, yeah, they can do that, but we got a card we can discard just for that. So that's okay. Thieves Guild. 2. And they already have 2 over there, so that makes 4, and this will make 4 more, so that will put these 2 to 3 damage. We have 4 here. 7, 10, 11. I could be wrong, but I think this may be lethal. No, yeah, that's lethal. Nice, taking down, what is that, Grixis Control? We're on a roll, baby. We're on a roll. Velocid Daddy Macher? It's like Velok is Daddy Macher. We're just gonna call you Vel. Maybe Mach or Mach. I don't know. I don't really like this hand. I like the fact that we have double black mana so that way we can get to the hunted, but we don't have any red mana and we only have 2, which means we're really hoping for another land. But if we do hit another land of any kind, then we have call, hunted, maybe Stormfist turned online. You know what? I talked myself into it. Whatever. We're going second, so I'm a little bit more lenient with the hands that I keep because you get that first card draw immediately, right? So, granted, it didn't help us here. You never know. It could have been, you know, the mountain we were looking for. And I bet a bunch of explorers have said that. Where is this mountain I'm looking for? So is it Dimir Rogues? Maybe, but I don't see a Lourdes, so maybe Dimir Control? We'll see. They might think that we're rogues. Let's see what they got so far. Lofty and a Drown. That sounds mighty roguish. What am I doing? I know that they have the Flying Thieves Guild. What's it called? No? What? Well, we know that they run Lofty Denial, so should I just jam this in hard? We have a call to play next turn. That's why I'm like a little bit more lenient here with if my creatures die or if they get, you know, countered or whatever. They let Stormfist land too. What is going on here? Thieves Guild? Okay. That's it? It would... Okay. They're playing this one a little slow. That's alright. I know how rogues can be. They can be a little wily bunch. Are they going to leave my Stormfist for my turn? I mean, it does draw them a card too. No? They said absolutely not, Chance. I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to. It's not happening. So we just have 2 Stormfist over there. That's a little unfortunato. We have 3. If I put down the Hunted Nightmare, it gives Death Touch to the Thieves Guild Enforcer, but we already know that that Thieves Guild Enforcer is going to have Death Touch in the near future anyway, so fuck it, right? I'm sticking with that logic. You can't make me budge on that. If we hit an untapped, we'll be able to use Connection plus Call. That would be pretty good. We could potentially steal their stuff, at least for the time. Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a Nighthawk Scavenger. Shh, phone, I'm doing work. So yeah, we did actually get it. We could go call, bring back Fervent, get Stormfist, and take Nighthawk. Well, I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't do that, right? So, thank you for that one. Alrighty. So they're down to 10, we're up to 20. They do get their Nighthawk back. Maybe I should have saved Tentative Connection. Maybe I should have played down the other Fervent and then boosted both Fervents, right? But I felt like what I did was much more rewarding, even if they do get to just crack back with it, you know? Also, our Fervent, well, one of them could have swung in, I suppose. They're looking at that Fervent and they're like, you know what, that it's too strong. Probably gonna be removing that one soon. Even though we got a Hunted on the field and a Stormfist. Ooh, Nighthawk Scavenger. That's a good one. That is a good one. Valakut Awakening and another Thieves Guild. How many cards did they have? 3. So if I play down Thieves Guild, that puts them to 7. I think we are definitely playing down Thieves Guild and the Fervent here. I just didn't know if I was playing this at instant speed or twat. So Hunted can take out Nighthawk and Thieves Guild. That's good. And Fervent, we send him in because it has Menace, and again, it can take out Nighthawk before it ever gets a chance, so. Now, question is, do we want to use Valakut Awakening on these two? They're going to be gaining 8 life here, putting us down quite a bit. I think so, actually. I think we're going to discard these two and go looking for another Tentative Connection. Or maybe even Labyrinth Raptor. We'll see. We shall see. These Nighthawk Scavengers are brutal, I tell you. Brutal. Okay. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Okay, it's pretty much what we figured. We're down to 7, they're back to 16. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe. Of course, they could always counter it. Nope, they let it go. Cool. Ah, boo. Oh no. This is not what we wanted at all. At all, I tell you. Surely they counter Robber. If they have counter magic, it's coming out now, ladies and gents. What is going on in the world? That for sure should have been a could have been a counter. I'm actually gonna swing in as is. If they'll let my Robber go, I think we should, right? Because if we can hit a Nighthawk from them or any bit of removal, that kind of stuff, right? Wow, they're actually gonna let us swing in with all this stuff. All right, let's see. Come on. We can pull it around. We're 3-0 so far. I believe in us. Okay, that's kind of bad. That one's kind of bad, not gonna lie. Then what, another Thieves Guild? No, they let that go. Oh, but it doesn't proc the Robber because they ended up with the same amount of cards. Oh, no. All right, good game.